All right, I am back. So the second half of this, I wanted to talk about conditioning. Okay, another psychological theme. B.F. Skinner, John B. Watson, um, and Ivan Pavlov. And if you've taken a psych class, you know about these folks. If you haven't, you can Google it. Because I want to be very brief in this video. So with conditioning, what I see the correlation or the connection to conditioning and the whole Social Security conversation that's been happening recently. This is something that um, Republicans, and I want to say more than Republicans, the top 1% have perpetuated and done over a long period of time. And right now they're trying to condition us again in regards to Social Security. So I'm going to give you some information or give you some terms that I've heard surrounding Social Security lately. So you had, first of all, let's start with the Commerce Secretary. Okay, so the Commerce Secretary went on some podcast, and what he said was that, basically he said, if my mother-in-law, who is 94, didn't receive her Social Security check 1 month, she wouldn't complain about it. She'd just be like, oh, it'll just come next month. Okay, so, and then he went on to say, a fraudster, a fraudster is the person who will always make noise and be loudest and screaming and complaining, that they didn't receive their check. So he's like, look for the people who, when they don't receive their check, those that are the loudest are the fraudsters. Though they're trying to cheat, they're trying to get over. Okay. So that's how I really started to look at the terminology that they're using in regards to Social Security right now. So that's number one. But then I decided to backtrack. So you also had at this weird, I don't know, State of the Union thing that Felon 47 did a week or two ago, about 2 weeks ago. He started talking about all these people that are supposedly receiving Social Security that are like over 150 years old. And there's so many that are 160 years old that are receiving. No one in America is living that long. So he was creating this narrative that there was all this theft and fraud in Social Security, and that all these people that are over, say 110, 120 years old that don't exist are collecting Social Security checks. And then they also said something about children are collecting Social Security checks. So yes, if there are children who could be collecting Social Security checks of their deceased parents, if they're under a certain age, then they're entitled to that money. They're entitled to that financial support because their parents are no longer here. So yes, that's happening. But nobody that's 150 years old, number one, exists. And number two, is receiving any Social Security. So you had that, okay? That was the first thing. Then you heard Elon Musk come out and talk about, say that called Social Security a Ponzi scheme. And then he referred to people that, quote, live off of the government as parasites. And we've heard this, not parasites, but a similar term. They use, welfare queens. Well, let me tell you something. The person who is receiving the most money from the government right now is not any of us. It is Elon Musk. Google how many billions of dollars he's making off of government contracts right now. He is the equivalent of a welfare queen. If one ever existed, it is Elon Musk. If anybody is the parasite siphoning money out of the government, it is Elon Musk. He is literally a walking embodiment of waste, fraud, and abuse that they claim to be looking for. So they want to condition you to believe. They want to make you embarrassed even. Because this Secretary of Commerce is saying, oh, like you're the fraudster, the person who's whining and complaining. I just want you to really think about what he said, because it's such projection, which is also another psychological term. But Who's always whining and bitching and complaining? Which party? I'll give you one guess. Every single day, whining and bitching and complaining. I guarantee you, you will go through the comments here, and there's going to be some of the regulars whining and bitching and complaining. That's all they do. That's all they do. That's all MAGA does. That's all they do. So that's number one. And then the audacity to tell people that they shouldn't feel upset or be angry when they don't receive a Social Security check that is their money. You earned this money. You paid in every single check you got. FICA, look at your check stubs. They took that money from you. They took it out and said, hey, at a later date, 65 and above, you can get this money back. We're going to hold it for you. It will accumulate. And in your golden years, you can sit at home and receive these checks every month as financial support. So how dare he say that, oh, if you complain that you don't get your own money back and on time, according to the law, that you are problematic. But that's what they want to make people think and feel about your own money. You earned it. Let's talk about food stamps and Medicaid and Medicare, like all of these federal systems, support systems for people, for Americans, we've all paid into. So you should never feel guilty about having to use them. And I'm going to tell you something. There was a time, because I grew up in Texas and I heard this bullshit narrative all the time. There was a time where I was like, oh no, I can't accept any help from the government. I can't be on food assistance. I can't. But let me tell you something. As a single mother, when you get to a point that you have to just figure out how to feed your child, and here's how I wrap my head around it. I wrap my head around it because I'm like, literally every check that I have made, every single check, and I've told y'all this before, I've been working since I was 14. I've worked multiple jobs, multiple years for quite some time as a single mother. So that's a lot of money going to the government, in my opinion. A lot of money was coming out of my checks. And don't even get me started on the taxes I had to pay in the 12 years that I had my real estate license. Don't get me started. So when I got into that moment, when I got to that point where I was like trying to pursue creative full time and didn't have consistent money coming in because I was fresh and new to LA, Hollywood, etc. Yeah, I had to go on food assistance. It's called SNAP here in California. So I want everyone out there to hear me. They want to label you as something, whether it's a welfare queen or a parasite or whatever it is. This is money you made. This is money you made when you labored, and when you didn't need it, you didn't need it. But when you do need it, take advantage of it because you made this money. It went into these federal systems for people to have and to be able to use, to eat, to go to the doctor when they need to. That's what it's for. That's what it's there for. And you paid into it as a working American. But Social Security is directly your money. It is pulled out of each one of your checks, put in a Social Security account for you, and for you to get back once you hit, I think it's 62 now, that you can start receiving Social Security if you decided to retire at that age. But these people are trying to make you feel guilty for it. They're trying to condition you to believe that it's okay, and that you should not complain when and if you don't receive a check. So to me, they're trying to set it up for when you don't receive a check, meaning they're coming after Social Security. And also, they don't want you to feel bad about it. They don't want you to bitch and complain about it. How dare you complain and scream and whine about money that you made, that you earned, that is your money? Don't let anybody talk you out of your own money. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know you people out here, some of you people, y'all voted and consistently vote against your own interests. But in this moment, I'm telling you, in this moment, you really need to stop, because these people are playing in your faces again and trying to make you believe that receiving money that is rightfully yours is problematic. And if you don't receive it, if they decided to withhold it, steal it, take it, whatever they, whatever plan they have, that you shouldn't complain about it, that you shouldn't take to the streets, that you shouldn't bitch and whine, you shouldn't get on the phone, you should not show up in an office. And I want every single one of you to make sure, if that's where they're going with this, those are exactly the things that you do immediately.